Hi students, I wanted to go through this tutorial on our next project, ROBOTLAND. You'll be creating a robot in Adobe Illustrator using shapes and the pen tool. Similar to what you see here, I'd love to see some kind of background. You could put a cityscape or whatnot in the background. Excuse me, but before that, I wanted to show you a little bit about the gradient tool. So I've got this document, 8.5 by 11, and if I create the box and I click over here in the gradient window by going to Window Gradient, um, I could change the color by clicking on the circle where the gradient slider is, going to RGB, and creating the color I want for um, for this gradient. I could also create more colors by clicking on the gradient slider circle and hitting Option, and now I've created more colors. Here. So I can move the slider to kind of adjust where the gradient goes. And then using the gradient tool, I could change the direction. Let's see, you gotta hover over to which the gradient is going. And I can even adjust the gradient here and here and even in the middle. So I've got that. Let me put a So I've got that. Um, I'm going to add a little neck to this. And then I'm going to add a body. I'm going to change the body. Actually, let me take off. Okay. And then I'm going to add maybe if you hit Option and Shift, you could copy the shape. I'm going to change the color of that. Actually, change the color of that. Okay. So you could create a shadow effect by simply I'm just going to make a shape here, and then I'm going to just create a darker color for the shadow. And then I'm just copying So I just changed my gradient to a circular gradient in the center. There is another tool called the gradient mesh tool. Now let me go over what the gradient mesh tool does. I'm going to create another document, and let me just so I'm creating maybe the shape of an apple, and I've got that. Now with the gradient mesh tool, if I want to put a highlight, let's say up here on the apple, I can add a highlight up there. Um, and then I'm going to, so you want to keep it within the structure of the, the apple. So I've created this kind of effect with the apple here. Um, so you could see you could see what it can do with the gradient mesh tool. And you could see the mesh, it follows the shape of the, the apple. Um, so with that, I could also say I create the shape here, and I'm going to select the background of that, and then with my gradient mesh, I'm going to lighten up. So now I have that effect on the robot. And if you were to put, let's see, a background, the way the robot would sit in the background, and where's my layers? Um, I'm going to create a background, the way it would sit in the background is the the ground where he's standing would be like that, and then the sky where he'd be standing would be like that. And then if you were to put um, a drop shadow, you could you could create a drop shadow. And then what I'm going to do is go to my opacity. I'm under appearance, and I'm going to go to multiply, and then lower the opacity down. So now I have like a drop shadow behind the robot where he's standing. Now I really want you to make your own robot. I don't want you to copy what I'm doing here. That's not the point of this assignment. Um, you could use the pen tool to make the hands. Oops. Um, I just want you to have a lot of fun with your creativity on this project and enjoy creating this robot. Um, you could put objects in the background, like a city, something futuristic. Um, so there you go. Have fun creating the robot. Um, um, yeah. So I'm having fun myself, so I'm getting carried away with this artwork. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Just have a good time. Remember, it's 8.5 by 11, and we're only going to spend a couple of weeks on it because the last project will take a lot longer. So start working on it. Thanks.